Nikita. Now on Bounce, you have the chance to connect with some of Charlotte's professionals for an entire week. And one man who knows firsthand the benefit of networking is Carlos Davis, the founder of Charlotte Networking Week, and his professional development firm is called Stand and Deliver. I love that name. Welcome back to the show. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here.
All right. It's been 1 year since we talked about this big event. Here we are again, and time flies, right?
Yes, sir.
Give us an overview of plans for this week.
Well, this is going to be a week that every professional does not want to miss. A lot of times you'll find networking events or events that just cater to one particular industry or one field. This event is open to everyone, and we're going to have a little bit of everything for everyone to come and not only take away some good nuggets, but also meet some really, really great people. We're going to have business panels, we're going to have seminars, but of course the networking so people can learn about one another and create those opportunities.
No restrictions, and for people that may not have a job, they're allowed to come too. Everybody can show up to this.
Exactly. Entrepreneurs, unemployed, employed, nonprofits, really doesn't matter.
Open to everybody. What type of professionals you're going to have on hand this year? I know you mentioned a little bit. Can you elaborate a little bit?
So we're going to have, of course, different types of professionals in attendance. Of course, we're going to have those that if you are looking for work, we're going to have recruiters there on site that will help out with that. If you're an entrepreneur looking for a particular client, of course, we have those for that. If you're a nonprofit looking for volunteers, we'll have opportunities for that as well as different companies like Verizon that will be teaching about technology, and then we've got Spring Blossoms Agency that we're talking about PR. So we've got a whole lot of things that people can take away from this week. Back
when I was coming into business, people said to network, you got to learn how to play golf and get out there. But it's not necessary with something like this. It makes it very easy for you. You have some advice for people to network their way to the top. It's so important, isn't it?
So I'd have to say the most important thing that people need to realize when it comes to networking, it's not about them. It's all about the people in your network. It's all about the people that you meet. Because if you have a mind and a thought process of service, the opportunities will be boundless for you.
We've heard people say it's not what you know, it's who you know sometimes, and that's always very important. So making a first impression is big, right?
So when you're making a first impression, again, having that mind of service, but also making yourself memorable, wearing things that are memorable. You know, people always ask me about my bow ties and then my lapel flowers. You know, it's a part of my brand and a part of style, but it also helps make me memorable when I'm interacting with people.
All right, and you see so many times people meet people and they've got a frown on their face, and nobody likes a frown, right?
Not at all.
You want to get out there and smile when you meet people.
Smile and shake hands, because it is you transferring your positive energy to that person, brightening them up and laying down those walls of distrust if there are any involved.
And people are less likely to hire people that don't smile and don't have a pleasant attitude, correct?
Exactly.
All right. Talk less and
listen more.
All right. That's another good one. And I see giving is important these days.
Because a lot of times when people go to networking events, they're always trying to get something out of it. Well, I'm not going to give anything unless I'm getting something out of it. If you give without any expectation of getting anything in return, you'll always get more in return.
Wow. Okay. And you know, this is always important. We have many interns that come through here at WBTV. Sometimes they don't follow up. They do the internship, and then you never hear from them again. And they would say, then they call you like a year later. I still don't have anything. Well, you called me a year later. You should have followed up. How often should you follow up? Give me some guidelines on that.
When you meet someone, you have to follow up within 24 to 48 hours, because at that particular time you're still fresh on their mind. You can give them, of course, the most important thing is to give them a phone call.
It's not bothering the people, because some people say it would bother them. No,
it is not bothering all. Especially if some type of interest was created with that, you definitely want to follow up within 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, you'll be forgotten. And part of networking is becoming memorable.
And what happens if somebody says, and see some pictures from a last year's event, I believe, what happens if in the 24, 48 hours they say, well, nothing has come up yet, but keep in touch. Is that a sign that they want you really to continue to talk to them, or whatever the case may be? You should continue to do that.
You should continue to do that. And
what's the time frame on that? After maybe you said 24 to 48 hours, do you do it every month? Do you do it every week? How do you do that?
I would first start with every week, and then scale back. As you haven't heard anything, scale scale back to every other week and then to a month. And that's when you want to start utilizing things like social media, like your LinkedIn, your Facebooks, your Twitters. That way you still stay top of mind with the person that you met.
Okay, all great information. The second annual Charlotte Networking Week is Tuesday, January 19th through Saturday, January 23rd. The first event kicks off Tuesday at Packard Place. It's called the Morning Exchange. The time is 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. The event is free. I mean, you can't beat that, right? But everyone should register. For more information, log on to WBTV.com. Look in the web extra section under the home tab. Carlos, always a pleasure to have you here.
Sir.
Good luck.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Brigida?
All right.